Good morning.
Good morning, yeah. Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning, Dennis. Good morning, Prabhas.
Yeah,
Hello, good morning.
Good
good
morning,
morning.
Sebastian.
Good morning, sir. All right. So, welcome. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I am Pravash from Datums. Welcome you all to on behalf of my team and on behalf of esteemed dignitaries like guests to welcome to this webinar. So today we are presenting the digital transformation journey, a solution for asset incentive industries. So digitization. What do you mean by digitization? Digitization is transforming the asset incentive industry just as it had transformed every other sectors. So for example, like with the data at your fingertip and the ability to analyze it in the real time, for the manufacturer and the engineers will be able to make smarter decisions, and the prediction to improve the process efficiency and reliability of the asset. The future of the maintenance for the distributed machines and the equipments will upgraded assets with digital twin technology. Now we'll walk through how digitization can help the asset incentive industries to reduce the downtime and increase the profitability by opening up a new revenue stream to the industry. To discuss this, we have with us Mr. Amrit, the digital transformation architect of Datums, along with Mr. Sebastian Castillo, the CEO and the founder of Veritech Engineeria Spain, Mr. Denis Pavluchuk from the product manager of Technotron Belarus, and Tukunbo Arenyalewa from Eon Split, the CEO from Eon Split in Nigeria. So just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during this webinar, please type them into the chat box. We will bring them all up after the presentation session. And this webinar is also get recorded, and you will get a copy of this record after this webinar. Now, without I further wasting my time, I will turn my time over to Amrit to start the proceeding. Over to you, Amrit, right now.
Thank you, Prabhas, for the lovely introduction. I just have a question. Is the screen shared? Because I cannot see any screen. Hello?
Just a second. I think now it's shared.
Okay, perfect.
Can anyone see this? Does anyone see this?
Yeah, I think it's visible. All is good now.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Hello. Yeah. So let's start with the transformational journey that we are going to embark upon on this webinar. So we have a few goals through this webinar to impart knowledge around the transformational journey, the aspects that lead to industries today to transform from different stages of proficiency in their asset intensive operations and management. To the next slide, please. Yes. So as we can see, I would like to start this on the note that if you look on the left, that today we are in a position where it says best in class today is between the transition from preventive to proactive, or where industry performance on the basis of how the evolution through the different phases of industrial transformation took place has brought us to a time where actually predictive maintenance and IoT accumulate together to provide a very world-class operating system to industries today, so that they can manage, they can operate, and they can take their business further. So if you look on the left, the industry performance is directly correlated to the level of maturity of their asset management and operational intelligence capabilities. Sorry, the screen is not visible again. Uh, okay, we are back online. Sorry for the technical glitches. As you can see, the main objective of this is that if you look in the beginning, there was reactive maintenance where it was based on the intent of maintaining. Then slowly we evolved today to a proactive forecasting, where the biggest differentiating technology that enables this is industrial IoT. And further, going further today, AI has enabled IoT to further take experience of operating machinery, or be it providing superior products to customers to a next level. Right. So on the right, we can see that the key here is that data is what drives your gears. The main approach here is when you are able to reduce your risk, drive up your performance. Excuse me. Is Okay, so drive up the performance, and in turn improve your business operations as well as revenue, right? So we can look at them through the scope that predictive maintenance, assessment of life cycle for your products or machinery, as well as from the scope that business intelligence or strategic asset management. To the next slide, please. Now, how do we achieve this? Okay, so if you look, we want to achieve the goals of enhancing or improving our business through in the digitalization, right? Now, digitalization to empower digitalization today with the industry 4.0, or the even the adoption of industry 5.0 practices, where there is a synergy between man and machine. We can see that digital twins are becoming the key driving factor, right? So enabling digital twins is being illustrated on the right. As you can see, that we have various asset classes, maybe generators or heavy equipments, or industrial machinery. Now these are for us cost centers, right? And they produce data at a very high volumes, right? This data is untapped. Now, converting these into smart machines, which was the first step, is making them smart or adding any kind of intelligence to them, has led us to having superior machines today. Now, through digital twin, what happens is you have a digital replica on the cloud, so that everything that happens on the machine, on the site for your business, is being replicated real time. And through the power of operational data analysis and historical data, and artificial intelligence and machine learning models, we can actually provide prediction and analysis based feedback to the operations of these machines, right? Now this is further improved through industry expert knowledge, which actually analyzes the digital twin and giving feedback at that level. Now anything that is recommended, or any change that happens as a consequence on the digital twin side, is reflected on the machine. Now this can lead to many things. The four things that it can lead to are improved industrial efficiency, a reduction of your operational costs. These things can these are as a consequence on the side of the machinery itself. But on the other side of the business, or the industry itself, we can also have long lasting effects on improvement of the life of the machines. We can extract further value regarding the resource usage of these machines, as well as we break down all the silos that prevent the correlation of this data. Because to give you an example, companies for example talk about circular economy. Now things that were not possible before are possible now. If you can predict the end of life of a machine, then the machine wouldn't end up in some landfill. It is going to enter the circular economy successfully, because you will be able to actually strategically allocate assets or renew them, maintain them, and then at the end of the time, you can actually manage to have your circular economy to produce or improve or add new assets to them. Whereas reusing the components, or the improving on your product cycle, right? Now on another side, another note, we can notice that the transition to digitalization causes, as I mentioned, these machines or assets are cost centers, because if you consider a typical traditional industrial asset, then it probably has a huge sunk cost associated with it, the acquisition cost, and then the ownership cost of it is probably going to be 10 to 15 to 20, even multiple times of the acquisition cost of that asset. Now the goal is to, if we could further optimize these operational or ownership costs, then we could transition from cost to profit centers. Any cost saved will transition to saving your company's expenditure or your business's expenditure. Now what does this mean for manufacturers? On the other hand, those who create products, they can actually have now products which are superior in the market on the next level, because they, first of all, they will have longer life. Second of all, they are well maintained. The cost of breakage or downtimes are reduced. And finally, these products, they are connected in such a way to the customer that they feel closer to the customer. They can actually have personalization and flexibility everywhere for their products, making the future even brighter. We can consider that machine learning and artificial intelligence provide us with the tools that can actually make use and extract value from data, which we are going to see further. To the next slide, please. Okay, so now let's look at how professionals manage assets today. So we are moving from asset management, traditional asset management, to truly digitalized asset management, where we can actually see that orchestration is happening. The way forward is towards digital orchestration, to understand the synergy between everything that goes into these asset intensive industries, through AI empowered, AIoT empowered, cloud connected machines and digital twins. They can have the flexibility to have all the information, or complete knowledge and the efficiency of their machines from anywhere, anytime, and at any time. Now this also means that, if you look at the level of maturity of the assets, you can say, if we start with why waste our time with asset management, to a level today where you say asset management is an integral part of everything we do. This includes the objectives of the organization. This also includes the competency, the performance monitoring, risk management, and decision making at higher levels. Okay, let's move to the next slide now. So we embarked on this goal. So just to round up, so we talked about better capacity planning. We talked about resource optimization, controlling your resourcefulness. You're right. Minimizing the operational expenditure. We also talked about how to maximize uptime, having a digital twin which has its own feedback loop to actually make sure that it doesn't fail. Right. We can also schedule maintenance times based on runtimes from data. Then finally, we also talked about value added data analytics. So how data can complement your asset, making it superior for both the business owner as well as the person who is in charge of actually maintaining it. Finally, we know that fast problem resolution is now possible, because now you have the digital twin, the access to the digital twin, which is a almost real-time replica of your assets from any mobile device. Right. So yeah, let's move to the next one. Yes. So now we will go to two examples of how data or how artificial intelligence helps IoT-based these IoT monitored solutions, these assets, to improve. For example, let's talk about predictive maintenance and forecasting. You can see here that we have depicted some give you an idea around how predictive maintenance or forecasting works behind the scenes. So maintenance and its inspection, predictive downtime, longer, and the maintenance activities are usually related to the cost of work, right? They are the cost that the assets incur from time to time, and these costs accumulate over time. Now, if we go over time, we can manage to actually plan this or distribute this over time, leading to an increased life for the asset. At the same time, what happens is every time we maintain through predictive maintenance, or we schedule a service, we are actually having it cheaper than it would when a breakdown occurs, or when it would have occurred based on a manual schedule, right? So these analytics are provided through through the digital twin, the process of the cloud, and finally provided on the dashboard of the customers. Like you can see when is the next service due, when is the recommended time, or what is the forecast. For the next example, let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, so we can see here how performance intelligence works. For example, we talked about how we can have our machines optimal all the time. Now, optimality, for example, can be achieved by actually having a comprehensive health index, which can give us a breakdown of how our system is at a current state. So we can always maintain it to have, to extract the maximum value out of its performance, at the same time care enough about the life of this product, right? So you can see for asset classes, the design life, the estimated life, and the aging rate are taken into account. And at the same time, all the data input from the running of the machine, the individual component based health factors also play a key role to the analysis algorithm. And finally, the algorithm is able to provide us with a very definitive health index, which is actually very important for any kind of professional who is managing his assets or looking after operations today in industries. We are talking about asset critical industries here also, where actually knowing the current state reduces loss due to downtime or loss due to failure of critical machinery. Okay, now that we have seen two examples, I would like to actually invite our guests to showcase some examples of how they digitally transform solutions for their customers, and what value they provide through this, and how it has what feedback they have for us.
Yeah, Amrit, thank you for your
Yeah.
lovely and like presentation. So moving on to the next slide. So next. Yeah. So the predictive maintenance and the forecasting you have mentioned, like the performance intelligence, is the key of this key feature for the digital transformation. Let's understand from the industrial point of view, like how it's happened in the real-time scenario, and how this maintenance and this data digitalization help in the real-time scenario for different industry. So for that, like, let me welcome Mr. Sebastian Castillo, the CEO and founder of Veritech Ingenieria from Spain. Let's understand like how this digital transformation help their asset to monitor and to measure the details of the asset and to enhance the product visibility and the product maintenance. Over to you, Mr. Sebastian.
Hello, everyone. Hello from Spain. We are a very young engineering company. Has been growing from the south of Spain. We work mostly on the solar installations. In the first years of the solar power transformation in Spain, we are talking about 2015, we were working on using the solar power to move the irrigation pumps. And we have installed and commissioning more than 200 pumps with that technology, based on variable frequency drives. We have realized it in that years since then, that the people want to know what's going on in the countryside or in their farms without being there all the time, because there is a cost of going on site, may take 1 hour or more in some cases, and also they don't know if it's working or it's not working, or if it's irrigation or and the demand of information is day higher. So we are been working with the people of Datums, our actual partner for digitalization, on the idea of what if we get the data of the farm to the cloud. We think it's a great idea because there are millions of farms, not only one. The potential customer is almost everyone who has something to know or to manage that is outside his home. It saves time for the own person, just because you can know what's going on without being there, without transport your by car, and you can have a lot of information in your smartphone. It's true that the people who owns the farm is old, and it's not used to 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 manage and to use the new technologies, but it will change for sure. And we know that the next generation are pushing forward. I mean, the young people, they want to know everything right now and immediately in his hand, in his pocket. They don't have the patience to drive the car 1 hour to know or to check if the pump is running or not. They just want to know, and it's is the idea. So we are betting for that future. We think that future is now real, and we are moving on that direction together with Atoms. The idea is very simple. Is okay. In the countryside, we have a lot of magnitudes, physical magnitudes that can be measured, just to check if everything is going on right or there is some failure or some problem in there. For example, we have pressure. The pressure is a very important value to check irrigation pressure, the water flow, the speed of the pump, current of the pump. There are tons of data. So what we do is, okay, we get these sensors, we install these sensors, we connect them to a gateway. It's a Modbus gateway. Is the second picture. This local gateway will connect with a DTU, data transfer unit, and this data will be sent to Datums. It's as simple as that. I mean, the hardware cost of that solution is so low that anybody can be my customer. I mean, it's very affordable because it's very simple. All the complexity, all the analysis, all the new things to develop in the cloud. And once we have done this job for one customer, it's done for all the customers that we have. We don't need to make complex and expensive hardware for them, because all the computing technology is in the cloud and is shared for all the customers. Next slide, please. All right, thank you. So these are pictures or job. This is an example of what we do. The first picture is an electrical cabinet for controlling a complete irrigation system. It has a controller that open and close the valves. It start or stop the pumps, several pumps. The fertilization system. We have tanks with water or fertilizer. There are a lot of devices that works standalone. And here the people, I think is not only in Spain, it's everywhere. We have to go on site to check, okay, if the pump is running, if the tank of the fertilizer is empty or not, is the pump is spinning. We want to make this obvious, just push data to the cloud, and someone on his phone can check if everything is going on right or not. It's very simple. And there are more things there are a lot of data to check. We can check also even the irrigation parameters, the quality of the water. There's no limit. The more sensors we install, the more information we get, and the better it is. But there is to end with this, with my part of them. I would like to show you my idea, my personal idea of what we want with that. Because okay, the data by itself is very useful. I mean, the people you're checking the data will know probably if it's working or not. But I'm going beyond that data. I want to talk that. I want to share that. What if we make a community where this data is also checked by expertise people, engineers, or by an IA, an artificial intelligence that can check the data and decide if this is working right or not, or if it's a potential for a failure. We're talking about predictive maintenance. Because okay, the people who is a user will check the phone, but will not go beyond that data. We'll just okay, it's very beautiful. We'll check the colors. We'll check them how the usability of the app, but not will be able to analyze and check if everything is okay or not. Probably. So if we add this potential use to the to some people behind that that can check this data and give an advice, okay, this is working or not, or even go to artificial intelligence, we go a step ahead. I think is the future. Is the future. Not only having it, having all the information on the phone, also having an expertise advice um, available all the time. That's that. This is the point that where we are working. We are working on places that have machines, electrical devices, pipes, a lot of things, and they are far away from the city or from the home, and these standalone systems require technology that we are developing along with Datums to, in a cheap way, I mean, in an affordable way, anyone can have it or can use it. Because for me, it's not interesting if we do it and it's very expensive. Only few people will have access to that technology. Which I think is the future. So my idea is okay. Let's go to a target price. Let's work hard and let's make it massive. Because it's not what we are doing here in Spain. I'm not thinking only about Spain. Spain is like the training place. We are training this in technology, but once this is mature, this is a worldwide technology. ECU can be sent everywhere, and we can give technical advice for the irrigation service everywhere. There's no limit. The limit is only ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed my idea. We'll check in the comments, and thank you for everything, for this opportunity to Datums, to all the crew of Datums. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Sebastian. It's a real good feedback of yours. And like, okay, like as you mentioned, like the data is the next key business point. Like if you have the ample amount of data will be present on it on your fingertip, that you can have like operational expenses will be reduced. So thank you for that, and thank you for choosing datums also. Now let me introduce. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So let's welcome Mr. Dennis Pavlichuk. So from Technoton, he's a product manager. So give me some bits about like Technotron. So they are more into early stage of emerging market of automotive telematics and GPS tracking system. They have developed manufactured GPS tracking system with fuel sensor and fuel flow meters. So let's understand and like how this digital transformation can help their industry to get to a new vertical on their like how is there any kind of reduction of the OPEX and the predictive maintenance, how helpful for them. Let's understand from them. Over to you, Mr. Dennis.
Hello. Thank you, Amrit. Thank you, Pravash. Thank you greatly for this possibility to visit this event, to take part in this event, and to share our thoughts, to share our vision. Briefly about our company, Technoton is a producer of advanced machinery telematic systems, as we are situated in Belarus. Our main expertise is a precise monitoring of fuel and fuel consumption in different spheres, starting from traditional fuel management up to complex industrial solutions. 20 years ago, we started from fuel level sensors. It's the first device which is described on this slide, yes. And now, as you can see, we have a wide range of equipment, most of which go from our vision of digitalization and certainly from the needs of our customers. At this moment, we are highly keen on the solutions for diesel generators monitoring. Please, the next slide. Yes, now we are highly keen on the solutions for diesel generators monitoring, as you see, digital drilling solutions, and solutions for granaries. We see that with the right asset management, it's possible to save up to 37% of fuel spent on this object, as we predict that diesel engines still be the main power source for such assets, yes, for such objects, and especially for remote objects where there is no electricity, yes. Yes, I think it's quite hard to share the vision, the deep vision of digitalization and transformation within 5 minutes, considering that I have spent already one for presenting my company. So I decided to focus on three main milestones. First, I consider one of the big milestones in this journey is time. Talking about times and terms, we need to understand that it will be a quite long journey. A lot of small steps, kickbacks, and work in this journey. Sometimes with zero results, maybe, and misunderstanding from different scopes, from different people. But anyway, this path will lead us to the future, I'm fully sure. The second milestone I need to talk about is the trust. As Sebastian told, that we need to trust, we need to rely on the knowledge of great number of people, on knowledge of people from different spheres, from different scopes, specialists in different spheres. And we need to work in deep cooperation over scopes and countries. In other case, we will be not able to walk this path, yes? And the third main question that I want to share today, the main key point, yes, I want to share, it's about team. And in this question, we understand that everybody needs to do their own work. Yes, so, in this question, we prefer to rely on partners such as datums, yes. And I want to say that we have several cases with datums, with their professional team, and every time we faced two main features of their company. First one is desire to move forward in every case, in every project, yes. Even we have very small chances, yes. I see that this team is have a very high professional skills. And second, very important feature of this company, of this platform of solution, we can say a lot, yes, it's the flexibility. And I consider flexibility to be the key feature on this transformation journey. Facing digitalization, we more often face old assets. Yes, certainly we can take about modern assets with great quantity of sensors. Yes, it's quite easy to check to take this equipment into consideration. But what about if you face a very old asset? Yes, and the owner of this old asset, yes, want to control it. Yes, at this point we need to have the ability to for the platform of this cloud solutions such as from datums, yes, to be very flexible and to change rapidly to the needs of the current project. And it is a very important quality. And the second key point in this transformation is a visualization. People don't want to see a lot of numbers. They want to see the picture, really. As Sebastian told, you want to see the picture on your smartphone. And from this picture, you need to understand rapidly what is happening on your site, yes? So I think the datums platform gives this possibility to make the customer feel of presence on their site. It's very important, I think, in this situation. Yes. And at the end, I want to make an emphasis that digitalization, this process, this journey, yes, is the right way. Yes, as Sebastian and Amrit told and Pravash told, yet it's the right way. Sometimes we will say very hard issues, yes, but we need to understand, to believe that it's the right way. And I suggest to make it together with Datums, together with all the companies that are engaged in this process. So now I will turn back to Amrit. Amrit, Pravash.
Yes, Prabhas, please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pravash.
it's a like well thank you for your talk, and we appreciate like as a company, as a platform, datums will help you on old asset also, or helpful for you for your old asset also, because that is the challenges what we faced right now, because nowadays the new technology will be come into like as a go on model, but it's right now in the industry, if you find there are lots of old assets are there which need to be digitalized. So as a company we are working also on that, so we'll definitely work together to get the old assets also. And to next carry
I
forward.
take it on from here now.
Yeah, sure, we love to hear it from you.
Okay, just take me to the next slide. Let me take it up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, thank you so much for this opportunity. I've listened to all the experts speak, and it's been amazing. So, I will just go straight to Aeon's fleet and our relationship with all experts in this domain, with Technoton, with all the sensor providers, IoT device providers, and the like. So, um, let's look at Aeon's fleet, then we'll look at the case study itself. So, Aeon's Fleet as a company is a small startup. We started 2016, incorporated in 2018. And till date, as I speak to you, we offer a range of customized solutions for both stationary and mobile assets. So we've taken our solutions from the telecommunication towers to automotive industry, and we provide our customer with the ability to manage their remote site. So, the speaker mentioned, data is very essential to the business and especially to decision making. So we believe as a company that any company or any business owner who has access to data will surely have access to making smart decisions. So with this consistent belief and record, we've been able to track record of global growth and innovation. And also, I can say we have provided customer-centric solutions that are tailored to specific needs. So that's one thing Aeon Slate has been doing over time. We don't bring solutions to clients. We look at the challenges they are facing. Then with that, we can provide the right solution. Can you take me to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so permit me to start by saying energy plays the most vital role in growth, economic growth, progress, and development, as we have seen, as well as poverty eradication and security of any nation. So, uninterrupted energy supply is a vital issue for all countries today. And we can say future economic growth is crucially dependent on the long term availability of energy from sources that are affordable, accessible, and environmental friendly. Now, diesel generator, as a case study, are often used in most countries as backup or emergency backup, so to speak, when the national grid fails or during power outages or provide energy in remote areas, as we have seen in different cases. But in the domain we are in, West Africa precisely, let me say Nigeria precisely, generator have become the primary source of electricity. That is the truth, and it has to be told that for many businesses and households, supply from natural grid or national grid has remained abysmally low. So, understanding this as a business, Aeon Fleet is in the business of IoT-based energy monitoring, helping these companies to reduce waste energy bills and eliminate fuel theft, as the case may be. I was looking at a brief with a company recently. Right now in Nigeria, over 60% of companies in Nigeria depend on diesel as backup, if not the first choice, running daily activity and lacks the remote visibility as of this activity. So this is what we have seen. And also we have also seen that about 39% of these companies revenue is spent on fueling. If you look at it critically, about 39 rather percent of this company's revenue is spent on fueling, let alone maintenance and all the things constituent of this generator and running of this generator. And if you look at the fueling and the labor cost alone, it's about 59 of OPEX of every business. So it's a major concern for us right here in Nigeria. So looking at a case study of one of our major clients right here in Nigeria, the challenges we saw in our conversation with the business owner, we realized that diesel consumption is one of the major operational costs for this particular company and for a lot of telco providers, as the case may be. Now, if you look at this case study itself, at the time, there was, let me use the word, there was few of fraud activity on this site, especially the remote areas. And before managers could get to other sites, a lot of things would have happened. So during my conversation with the supply chain person, the head of supply chain of this company, he told us the challenges they're facing in terms of fuel monitoring, knowing the exact quantity in the fuel. They want to know, they want to reconcile, they want to know the threshold. They don't even have access to knowing the threshold. Probably they want to refill the tank once the asset or once the fuel level gets to 100 liters, 1,000 liters, as the case may be. So there were a lot of dark areas in their operation. So when they spoke with us and looking at this particular company, they run a cold chain process. So it is very critical for them to have access to this things at a time. Now, the digital transformation, bringing Aeon's fleet into this field. From our conversation with these clients, we realized that this is actually something we can solve, a problem we can solve without even stress. And we've come to realize that a lot of business owners don't have access to understanding that most of all these challenges they are facing can be solved digitally using IoT solutions and the like. So after we integrated data IoT devices called the TRAD, integrated with a fuel sensor level, installed in the fuel tank itself and external fuel tank. We made this whole installation and with a very smart, IoT device and platform, and with the support of Datum as our own partner right here in Africa. So we were able to create visibility. We were able to give visibility to this client. So what I'm saying now is that as I speak to you of over 10 sites, these clients can sit down, logging into an IoT platform and have visibility of all operations happening in all these sites. You can see the fuel level, you can reconcile the refill, you can see you can have access to fuel theft in case if there is fraud. You can set preventive maintenance and the likes, predictive maintenance and the likes. So over time we realized that we've been able to help this business run seamlessly, having full control. When I say control, it is not partial. I am saying full control of all activities of other side. So you can imagine the joy in the heart of this kind of client that can sit down and log into a platform or log into a mobile application, and you can see every operation happening in all the sites. So it is something that looks like a magic to the client at first, but we were able to achieve this with our partnership with Datum and other sensor OEM, and we've been having testimony right now. We've been having referral from such clients. So now this customer has the ease of running this business with a seamless overview and control of all the sites, even at a glance. And when looking at what we have been able to support these clients with, this client gave us this testimonial saying that we've been able to save them close more than 50,000 US dollars annually, both on fuel records, monitoring fueling activities and maintenance. We've seen a scenario with those clients whereby a particular asset in a place in Nigeria called Ibadan got damaged because there was late maintenance culture on the site, and it went bad for them. That the panel almost got burnt, and they need to incur, a lot of funds to replace the panel and to repair parts of the generator. So if you look at the business advantage, number one, fuel consumption of diesel generator powering the cold chain station in Nigeria was reduced by 34% for this particular client just in 2 years of after implementation. They could just see from their records that, where is this 34%? Where is it going to? And they've been able to convert that to the bottom line, and they're smiling. They're smiling day by day with us. So this company was able to save their cost. We were able to save this customer more than 50,000 US dollars annually. And Datum Solution helped to identify persons responsible for fuel fraud at remote facility. So with this solution, we've been able to identify fuel fraud. So all at just a simple alert. It's as simple as that. You can just get a very simple notification that tells you, there is fuel drop, there is refill, and the like. So you can act. And this is what we're talking. This is what we call artificial intelligence in this regard. So we've been able to. Another business advantage there is automated predictive maintenance, which has been one of the challenges we're facing right in West Africa, in Nigeria precisely. Once we set up a solution like this, you can automate the next time the next maintenance schedule. You can schedule it, and it prompts you to action. So you can concentrate on other businesses. You can concentrate on your core business, so to speak. Why the system is just there to remind you of so many things happening, and it's just like an oracle, like a watch eye on those sites. So we are benefiting from this with our relationship with our experts, Datums, and other experts in other domains coming together. So digitalization in this regards for us is bringing experts in diverse domains together, integrating solutions, and bringing it in a very singular platform to solving customer problems. So thank you so much for your time, Datum. We appreciate you. We appreciate this initiative, and we appreciate your support in putting smile into clients' faces right here in Africa, in Nigeria. We're saying thank you. Thank you so much for this time.
Yeah, thank you.
We just had some great insight from Sebastian and from Dennis. So what we saw is how components interact with one another, be it people, Internet of People, or Internet of, we touched on these topics as well. So Internet of People, Internet of Things, in the large scale of things. Right. And there is one aspect to it which I would like to tell is that digital twins, or through digital transformation, it's just one means, right? And it's not a off-the-shelf solution. It's usually requires some degree of maybe expertise or customization, or some degree of asset specific knowledge or technology embedded into it, so that it can actually provide or help in giving back the value that we are trying to extract, right? So we saw that there are a lot of emerging business models that I would like to touch upon now for the various stakeholders who take part in this digital transformation journey. Now, before I explain, I would like to just say that almost half of the companies, let's say 40%, haven't started on digital transformation, and 33% are developing their plans which won't execute in the next 12 months. These are figures from 2018. Now, post the pandemic, in 2021, we can say that there has been some change, but this change has come out in other ways. Let's look what McKinsey says, as there are a lot of companies which have mistaken digital transformation for digital lipstick. Now, what happens is there are two things. As a summary, I would like to say that businesses need to focus on two things. Primarily, refocusing their digital efforts towards changing customer expectations, and the use of new data and AI to improve business operations. Of course, we saw that these two are very much possible and actually are key factors in the digital transformation journey. When we say refocusing our digital efforts, it's not just about digitizing, but we are talking digitalization. Now this also incorporates the transformation of culture and processes, and accelerates the shift to digital channels. It reduces the friction of customer journeys, right? We are talking about how to enhance and focus on the customer, to build customer centric applications, customer centric services, application focused solutions, and contextual feedback. Now the second part is use of new data, or and AI to improve business operations. If we look, we need old data as well as new data. The old historical data serves as the foundation to have some predictable skills, right? And the new data is a demarcation of the change that appears for us. Now without one, the other is not definitive, right? So a lot of companies which say have digital transformation or have a superior product which is digitalized are not tapping into that historical data, because if they start tapping now, it is going to take them some time before they achieve the maturity that we discussed in the beginning. Now for that, what businesses need to know is how to approach, how you should sell your products so you are ready for this transformation on the long run. It doesn't mean that the risk that you take on adopting digital transformation has to be expensive. We are there, let's say, solutions or ecosystem partners, or the whole industry is able today to actually provide transformation without a huge adoption cost, and we are going to establish how we make it very super easy, right? So let's look at the roles of our key stakeholders here. We can see equipment manufacturers, which include OEMs and value-added resellers. Then there is the sub ecosystem of system integrators, managed service providers, or independent hardware vendors. We had a lot of some of our guest speakers also are belong to this category. And then there are leasing, contracting, operation and maintenance companies who are channel partner in the applicable industry domains. And finally, we have the end customer, or the end industry, or a site where there is an asset manager, and who are they are the actual people who want this value to be delivered to them, and the value they get delivered is actually lowering their costs, lowering their operational expenditures, improving the product, so that in a way they can actually at the long run, even though they pay to you for a service, they are actually getting more value out of it, which actually shows them that the value for the return on investment is concrete. Now so I would like to say that, okay, traditional models for, let's say, the equipment manufacturers, OEMs, was usually non-recurring one-time sales or annual maintenance contracts. Let's talk about generator manufacturers. So they have annual maintenance contracts, which are their let's say pipeline, and their bucket is the non-recurring one-time sales. Now they, to move to accessible models, which we now are possible through digitalization, are bundling or renting or services. So these can be SaaS or PaaS solutions, which they can actually leverage to improve the not only the product, not only the pipeline, but the whole the whole ecosystem of their products and their consumers. Secondly, system integrators who used to have traditional models can now also tap into this integration, or plug and play solutions to provide additional services or service driven revenue. Now leasing, contracting companies who used to have rental and hire pay as you go services can now go into equipment as a service. Even one further step, somebody who was selling let's say who was renting or providing for hire generators could now not provide generators, rather call it power as a service. And this service can be enabled because now you don't worry about your equipment. You have everything on tap. You have reduced the operational expenditure or the maintenance of your assets, and you know that you can provide this service effectively and very efficiently. So these are the possibilities. This is not definitive. We can actually expand this, and the sky is the limit. So moving on to the next slide. Right. So if you look, this is how I would like to, redirect your attention towards servitization, which is service as an outcome. We move from cost centers to profit center as we, digitalize and add on the values. And what values you should add could be, first of all, start with your product. Product improvement is the first step. Now you improve your product, you're sure this is the best version of the product, but how do you tell your customer this is the best version of your product? A digitalized offering actually provides the customer the insight into the product. He knows and he's communicating with the product itself. Now on the other side, he also gets the business intelligence, which you will also benefit from, because you also know that you are closer to your customer. You get the operating intelligence for your machines, knowing how you can further improve that for your customers. Finally, as a further step, generating additional revenue streams is possible through data driven value added services. Let's say you can provide them the scheduled or automated or alert services or reporting or anything that is critical to their business can be added as a solution, on top of the platform, right? Not to forget, I mean, it's also possible for companies to provide business processes as service through a platform, because let's look at an example of, again, rental solutions. Now a lot of generator or energy companies, or let's say fleet managers or plant for hire, or even let's say heavy equipment providers, these serve this ecosystem of equipment as a service. And what happens is they actually manage their assets through asset management platforms. Now there is a fundamental difference between a traditional asset management platform and a connected digital twin based asset management platform, because the clear difference is that the transparency and accountability comes first. You actually have the insight into the running, the efficiency, the performance, the data, and the consumption of your service or your product, right? Also, the second thing is your assurance towards your products, let's say feasibility for providing the service to the customer is always maintained. So from monitoring and management, we upgrade to digitalized offerings, and then finally we upsell to SaaS solutions, where you can actually provide the exact value. For example, let's say some power solution or on-site solutions which are provided to data centers can expose APIs for data centers for their advanced algorithms to actually schedule when to have switch between the grid or the power, for lowering their consumption of electricity. This is possible. This is not possible without a connected ecosystem or connected product. This is fundamentally, you put on the challenge of actually adapting this kind of machines through legacy methods, which would be expensive hardware that they have to install, coordination systems, and then providing older generation technologies to interface, which further increases the complexity. You could just simplify, at the same time have higher value from the solution. So these are some points that how you can extract further value through a digitalized product. I mean, just not just improving one aspect of the product, but actually improving the whole experience, including the business process and standardization, as well as the customer experience. Okay, to the next slide, please. Okay, so what role does DATOMS play here? If you look, I just would like to shortly go over on the left. If you look, that the approach to digital transformation is varies between build from scratch, start from scratch, start from zero, to the off the shelf, right? And our objective is to move towards the ease of adoption, so that companies who want to digitally transform do not have to choose a platform where the adoption cost is high. You can start from zero. And your because IoT enables a various a huge complex universe of protocols and technologies to work with. We aim to simplify that for customers, may it be through the hardware or maybe it be through the platform itself, making it more capable. So we with the playing catch up methodology of building from scratch, which is always later from what's the latest and greatest going out there, and then to the next level where you are consulting an expert for advice, and then you're also providing a start of a project, handling a project which is customized but not validated in the market as a product. We try to eliminate all this, because trying to standardize or creating a platform in the first place with all the fundamentals right is the solution. Now a company can digitally transform very fast, and actually the factors that they consider will be taken care of. For example, ease of adoption, implementation time is low, technical know-how requirement is actually reduced, and finally the hardware support is extensive. So these are a few factors. And yes, so let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, so while I discuss this, Tokunbo, can we hear you? Can we hear him? It's not working from his side. Okay, so I think this is our positioning. If you look at the DataOMS ecosystem, or how the platform enables all parts of the digital transformation through IoT, and introducing all the values that IoT brings through it. So digital transformation, data analysis and visualization, monitoring, automation, control, and servitization are all possible through the cohesive ecosystem that we are building with our partners, with you, and through our world-class solutions. Right. Okay, so with this I would like to move to the next slide. And yes, so finally we round up today's session with the top 5 IoT use cases in manufacturing, operations, and service. As we discussed, we saw a lot of information regarding that. And today, as you can see, operational intelligence is 31%, asset monitoring and maintenance 19%, predictive maintenance is 12%. So we see that the top 5 cases are remote monitoring, remote service, predictive maintenance, and all these in the sectors of manufacturing, operations, and services. Industrial use cases that drive business are fleets, automobiles, energy utilities, manufacturing, oil and gas, telecom industries, mining, and constructions. And we are capable to cater to this wide scale of let's say asset intensive industries today, thanks to our partners, and thanks to technology itself, fundamentally. Okay, so now I would hand over back to Prabhas to further this. Prabhas?
Thank you, Amrit,
Yeah.
for the lovely talk. Exactly, like with datums, we are not like, as you mentioned, like the business vertical. So we enable the business to, like, for every asset you need to, we create another source of revenue for every assets of yours. So with datums you can do that. Let's I open this round for any kind of questions. So if you have any kind of questions, so anyone can ask over here.
Uh,
I can see a hand raised from Mr. Kantharaju.
you can write in the chat box. We have a question from John Ajit Vane Mariados. Okay, he asks, what is the scope of IoT in the Gulf oil-dependent economies? Well, I mean, this is a very broad question. I mean, and to answer it objectively, I would say that there are multiple factors. If you look at the overall scope of IoT, it's immense. In fact, if you look at the current state of IoT in the Gulf, there has been a lot of adoption. There has been a lot of we can say the trend of enabling these solutions. Even there are you can look at the ports, the facilities or industries in the Gulf who have already adopted and at more advanced stage of this digital transformation journey. So I mean, to talk about scope, I would say that increasing further, taking further this orchestration theory, that to have the synergy or the interaction of all the industrial actors could is where we are growing towards. And with the complexity of, or you can say the abstract nature of the variety of application scenarios that fall into this question, we can say that almost all of them, whether be it regarding efficiency, whether be it regarding energy, or whether be it tracking, are being adopted, and super fast. I would say that it's growing super fast, and there is a lot of scope. We have made some new partners there as well. And for the Gulf, we are looking into even the telecom sector, also um, let's say of course the oil and gas, or extraction industries, where there are whether be it could be as simple as tank monitoring to as complex as offshore oil rigs, or drilling rigs, just like we saw an example from Dennis. So under the sun everything is possible, and the scope is practically for now very vast, and that's where we are heading, right? I hope this answers your question. Okay. Thank you. I would like to apologize to all our attendees because we actually overran from our scheduled time by more than 15-16 minutes. So now I would okay, we have another question. We will take this question. And okay, Kiran asks, are these retrofits? Well, okay, I mean, very short question. The short answer would be no. But retrofits are, I mean, when we talk about the platform, if you look at it, IoT platform as the cloud part, or the digital the digital twin, that these are completely new things, right? They if there is some kind of data source, they tap into it, but the rest of it is completely let's say new, or made from scratch, or is a product of the shelf product, right? The retrofit part applies to hardware, right? And in hardware we have sensors and we have gateways, right? The communication devices. So with our own research and development, as well as our partners ecosystem, or like other companies who are also into this, we try to establish retrofitting, if you would ask, is actually possible. And how it works is like one case appeared where, let's say, there are old assets, old generator, or old machines, or old compressors, or could be even a drilling rig, or could be something like um, uh, let's take a heavy equipment also. So there actually it's very easy to retrofit, and by retrofit I mean digitalize it, fit a hardware. The most important thing to note here, though, I would say, is that there is a lot of complexity in interfacing with machines. Now, this complexity deters a lot of companies who want to actually adopt to this digital transformation. So what we have done is we do that homework from our side. We simplify the protocols, we simplify the register mappings, we simplify how the hardware or a machine which doesn't have intelligence can actually interface through the internet and actually acquire the skills to communicate, right? So this is the part where I would like to say is more important to focus. And yes, so that's how retrofits is possible, of course. And that's how it does.
And
Okay.
to answer like your second question, like what kind of downtime you can we expect in kind of existing setup. So see, as Amrit mentioned, for the retrofit of any kind of machine, so it basically depends upon the machine in which we want to do the digital transformation. So that's, and the downtime is like, so every device on the platform we have like alert mechanism is there, so it can be like alert you, it can be triggered you that to to reduce your downtime. So it's upon to you. So so the alert and notification mechanism will alert you to prevent those downtime.
Right. So we are talking about assistive technology here. So, the machine, the system, even if intelligent, assists you in taking the decisions. But statistically, for now, we usually say, of course, I mean, nobody can go 100%. That would be, even if it's not there, sometimes something can go wrong. And so it's 99.9% is what you aim to achieve. For your uptime for machines which are well maintained and well supplied with resources. But in case you have downtime as a routine part of your business process or your operational process, then in that case, the downtime is scheduled by you, which we call, you actually schedule these things. You give the input of when you want this downtime to happen, so your operations aren't hampered, and that is actually wanted downtime. So unwanted downtime is 0 point less than, I mean, it would be 0.01% in an ideal case, and could grow based on the scenarios. Right. I hope this answers your question. If you are retrofitting, well, okay, this is an easy one. If the asset class is already supported on our platform, it takes 15 minutes. And but if it's a new asset class or particular product, usually what happens, a lot of, because there is so many assets that it's very hard that we can claim that we support everything. These
Okay.
usually generators, okay, you're referring to generators.
Generators.
So yeah, Prabhas can go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the generator. So for the generator kind of thing, so it's very easy to get onboarded. We need some like what the parameter you want to monitor in the generator, and what exactly like other things you want to do from the like the asset maintenance can be done. So it's very easy, like it's a plug and play system, so you can like have like within 30 minutes you can have your generator data into the platform. I think is it like are you get your answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, John, thank you for the feedback. Actually, the font was too small. We will take care of it next time. Thank
And
you
I
very
got a
much.
message
Yeah.
from Sanyashi. Okay, we will have a talk on this. So I just note down your number. So we'll have on talk on this.
Okay, I think we can wrap up. Prabhas, go ahead to the honors.
Yeah, so thank you all of us, all of you to join, to take your time, and sorry for that, like we have extend our conversation a little bit like 30 minutes ahead. So there's no like it's time passed when we are into a good discussion, the time get passed. So like thank you all to join over here, and let's hope like this webinar will get you an idea about how you can have your like digital transformation of your assets with datums. So we love to have a one-to-one discussion with any of all of you. So you have our contact number over here, you have your our mail ID over here. So if you have need any kind of like tips on the digital transformation, so we will love to help you on that, and we expect your feedback on this. Thank you all, and I especially thanks to Mr. Dennis, Mr. Chukango, and Mr. Carlos Sebastian. Sorry, Mr. Sebastian. Thank you all for joining us today, and like give your feedback on this.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity you gave me.
Thank you
It wa-
so
it
much
was,
for the time.
yeah, thank you greatly. Yeah.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. This one, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye again.
Bye.
Bye.